Hello everybody, you just caught me in the middle of just making some mud here. We're gonna be doing some building this episode. As you notice, I am sounding a lot better. I'm not sounding so quiet anymore. But anyways, we're just getting some resources for a build I'm working on. Since I have shulker boxes now, I can actually do this way more efficiently, which I love. Alright, I ended up with this area I'm gonna be building in. I feel like also raising the building more up on a platform is probably ideal. I want the building to be more visible throughout like the walls on this side and the spikes. I don't want it, because if I put it on the ground then you can't really see it unless you go to the wood area. And it also makes the city look bigger, so yeah, just good upsides on making it on a platform. Did a bit of research on palettes of color, and I learned that spruce wood actually really works well with jungle colors. They all have like a hint of brown towards them, so it really like blends in really well. Basically a beige platform that has dark supporting beams to it, which add more depth to the build, and I like depth. Can I get a little look? Yep, looking good. Let's try blending in jungle. How about that? Yeah, it looks good. We're gonna do something a bit extra here, just to make the walls look out more. Does that look good? I think that looks good. Instead of the wall just being plain, we added a little bit more fences to just live it up a bit. It might be too outward, but it does look nice. I think it adds a good frame to the wall. Time for the fun part. I'm gonna add where we're gonna start making our building, since it might as well be a good time to like start framing that out. But I want this to start off as spruce, and then once we get higher up, then the color will start shifting up, and you'll see it soon. There's a reason why I got that green concrete in the beginning of the episode. You know what, the outward thing actually isn't like that bad. I actually kind of like it. I think it has more depth. I love depth. Alright, let's do it to the rest of the sides. Oh, I was not expecting that. Liquid join. Wait. Well, why is he here? Why is he here? Do you like that? Uh-huh. Oh, there he goes. Okay. Gonna continue on building here. Gonna start working on the wood area now and building up here, since I want my walls to be a little bit more abstract. And they're not gonna be regular walls, they're gonna be a little bit more outwards, but with an interesting shape in them. Something not totally flat. That's basically what I want. Gonna start adding the decor to the base. I know it's a bit weird to work on the decor before finishing the exterior, but in my opinion, I kind of don't build like that. I usually build like I do exterior, then I go back into interior, then I work on some other part of the exterior, then I go back into interior, then I work on like basically like different sections of my base. It's hard to explain, I think, but usually when something isn't working on a part of the build I'm building, then I work on something else, and then go back to that part a couple of minutes later once I've done already something on this part. I just can't stick to one thing, basically. That's kind of like the thing I'm trying to say. Alright, here's where the green concrete comes in. I'm gonna start putting it here just to show where I'm gonna build the second floor. I think this is gonna be a 3-story build. There's gonna be a roof. Right now I'm just outlining the second floor, and then we can start like working. We can start building up those outer walls up, which will be a little bit eye-catching, but in a bad way, because there's so much going on. I don't know, that's just like the idea I can give off. But right now I'm working on the floor of the second floor. I added the stone slab roof, which I always add to my builds, because I feel like having a slab roof is more better than having a floor that's like poking out from the top. So just to separate it a bit. And the good thing about having a stone slab roof is that you can build your other roof or other floor on top of it, and then you don't have to worry about seeing the other blocks from below. So that's why it's nice. Alright, I got bored of the interior. I'm gonna start the exterior on the second floor with the green concrete. And I'm thinking about colors that match well with green concrete, and the first idea was tough. In the block, there's kind of some green already in it, so I figured that other green would work well with tough, and I feel like it really like blends in well with the concrete, in my opinion at least. which also helps out the mud area because the mud bricks blend in well with the tough bricks because they're both bricky form. brick form. Bricky form. I did not mean it like that. But basically it's just mud bricks go into tough bricks, and then the tough bricks go into tough, and then regular like other tough blocks. So it all matches up well in the end. I haven't really got the chance to look back at it. It looks nice. I'm happy about it. Okay, now this might look weird adding walls to the tough blocks, but I think it looks well if you look at it from the front. Because if I look at it from the front, then it's just the walls looking a little bit thinner than the other actual tough blocks. It gives more shape into the build, like having more blocks thinner than other blocks and forming up into a wall. That's kind of like the thing I'm trying to say. Thin is better. I can take it out of context so easily. Anyways, you see how the shape formed up? Look at that. The walls actually add a shape and add a little arch to the wall. Alright, now I'm going to make the wall wrap around the sides of the build, just so it doesn't seem out of shape. But as it just adds that thinner texture, in my opinion. It goes into a thinner texture, and then we place a block above it, and it goes back to the wall being thick. Ooh, I just got a good idea. Look at that shape. It's like a little windmill, but there's no propellers. I think that looks good, right? It's more like character to the build. You know what? I got an idea for the sides now. I added some air vents and some other like things you'd add to a wall, filters and all that stuff. Basically just going for more of a realistic touch and adding some stuff to the wall just to make it more color, just to add more colors, basically what I want. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but I think it does actually look well. I like the use of copper and quartz just to give it more of a lighter look. And I think the bars look well. And I might actually do it to the rest of the build too. I feel like it actually will work out really well. I'm sorry if I'm not really being entertaining. I know this could be really, really boring, but I love it. I love building. But I'm not really an entertaining person. Never have been. Pretty boring. So I'm sorry if this is kind of boring. If this is like a boring building video. It's hard being entertaining. And I'm doing a hobby that requires you to be entertaining. Oh dear. But still, I'm trying, so that's most important, right? Hopefully. I got no idea. Alright, I got the 4 pillars of the walls lined up, so I think actually I could start working on the roof now. Bit of a fast forward, I just added a lot of decorations to the walls, but I think the building's actually starting to shape now. Which, finally, right? Only took a couple, it only took like an hour, but still. Technically days, but I've been just working on this in between days. But overall, it's probably taken like an hour to get that far. So, yeah, but it does look nice. The slope on the roof looks good, so at least that's something to take in. Final layer of green concrete, and my goodness, my voice is drained. I'm sorry. I've been really, really tired the past few days. I don't know what's with me, but I've gotten busier and I've gotten more tired, so that might have something to do with it. Just might. oh well. But either way, I started figuring out where I'm gonna put the ladder for the roof, and I think this is gonna be the final layer of green concrete before I actually start working on the roof. The roof is gonna be similar to like my starter base with the flat overhang, but we'll just see how it works out. For now, I think I'm gonna get some water. Alright, well that's the first layer for the front. Now I just gotta work on the other sides. Alright, let's take a look at how this worked out. Yep, nice. Not bad at all. Alright, gonna start working on the flat part of the roof now. Reckon this is gonna be a bit of a weird thing to do, since I could just keep angling up on the roof and just keep putting the stairs until it becomes a triangle, but for more shape, I kind of want to make it look like there's an actual roof here, not just triangle shaped roofs. I can't do roofs. Roofs are the worst thing ever. I can't do them. They're hard. I don't know. I can't figure out a roof shape for the life of me. It's just so weird, man. So I usually just end up to doing flat roofs, cause they look better, in my opinion at least. I can't do roofs. They're terrible. I hate them. Working on the second floor's interior. I swapped back again. I got bored. Just added a lot of greenery to the area. I figured I didn't want the floor. I didn't want the roof to be just plain. So I added some leaves, spikes, just rocks, everything just to make it more naturey. Alright, sorry for the noise. You might hear some background noise. Neighbors are being very loud. But, got drip lift here, added a little copper pipe, and then I worked on the interior of this little, room. I added a lot of nature, and it does really capture the vibe of foliage, and I really like how crowded it is. Normally I wouldn't, but I think I like crowded spaces more than having things just open and plain. Might seem a little crazy, but we're gonna add one more building onto the roof. I feel like the roof just being angled up isn't really adding a lot, and I figured if I'm adding one more building, then that would just make things even more crazier. I think I'm a big fan of like weird shapes on my builds, which in my opinion, nothing wrong with. I think it just adds more fun to the build and makes things really good to look at. You know what? The roof actually doesn't look that bad. The first time I'm actually proud of something. Alright, might have to rush this a bit. I'm being called for something and I gotta get going, so I gotta edit this fast. I added a lot of fences and signs and gates and buttons just to spice up the area. Maybe a little bit too much, so now I gotta work on the roof. It does look really good though, so I'm glad the shape's finally for me. There's so much noise. I'm gonna fill the roof off with moss. What are they doing outside? Anyway, gonna fill the roof with moss. Just adding more greenery. This is basically since it's a foliage, greenery. It must just happen. Fun part coming up. I'm gonna decorate the roof with firefly bushes, azalea bushes, grass, just some fun stuff. Adding some moss carpets just to spread out the roof. And I believe we have a good looking roof at our hands. Alright, that should do it. Nice. I like it. 2 right there. Something's going on outside. Why? I made the roof a little more spikier, just to add more shape. Quick little walk around this. I know, it looks very pretty. I'm proud of myself. And yeah. Anyway, gonna finally start decorating this inside part. I'm gonna make this into like a little wood work place. I don't know. It's gonna be my little workshop. So I do have signs. I do have shelves and new copper bars. The copper update dropped, so I get to have fun with this. Alright, now how do I want to decorate this? I think I'm gonna build on the floor and work my way up. Gonna add a spruce roof, can't have any moss showing, looks ugly. Alright, and now we can start building the interior. Alright, a bit crammed, but I think it looks really good. I like how it's tight, and like a workshop is usually tight and you don't have much space, so I like that it captured that feeling well. And I think we have one more thing to add. Yes, so worth it. Well, I guess that does it for this video. I'm really proud of how this building turned out. Sorry I rushed the ending. I gotta do something, so I have to make this quick. Right now I'm just sorting all the items I needed what I wanted to put in this building, leaves, greenery, plants, logs, wood, all that stuff. I guess now I can finally relax and look through everything. So I'm really happy with this build. Probably like the best thing I've ever built in Minecraft, which doesn't say a lot, but I really like it. And I'm quite fond of the build actually. First time working with a lot of blocks in a different pattern. And I'm happy I was able to use green and brown really well together and just finding out what blends well together and the kinds of shapes I want to add to my builds. And I really found that enjoyable. So yeah, definitely a great build and definitely looking forward to stuff I build in the future. Let's turn off the light and rest up because we got a new day ahead of us. But yeah, I'm enough here guys. Take care and best wishes.